you so much for being with us. You are listening. I just told you that you were listening to The Shift, didn't I? Well, let me just mention it again. Thank you so much. You're listening to The Shift with Dr. Ed Montgomery. I am your host, Ed Montgomery, and we are live right here, February 24th, 2025. You are part of something, I call it a Rubik's Cube, where when you buy a Rubik's Cube, if you know what a Rubik's Cube is, a lot of us may not pay too much attention to them, but when you buy them, all the sides are different colors. There might be one side totally red, another side totally blue, another side totally white. But once you start turning it, when you turn one side, the other side changes. Turn another side changes. But when you try to turn it back, it seems that you can't get it back because you never can get it back the way you bought it. But that's the way life is. The more we turn, the more we discover that life is different. Life is changing, and we can never get it back exactly the way we wanted to get it back. In other words, you can't go back 15 years and say, I want to go back the way things used to be. You can't necessarily make America again. You can't always do that. You just have to go on from where America is or where your life used to be. So I believe it was Albert Einstein, and I'm paraphrasing, which I don't like to paraphrase Albert Einstein, but to paraphrase Albert Einstein. If you want to change the future or future problem, you've got to change the mindset that got you into the problem in the first place. So that's what we're doing. We're shifting, we're flipping, we're turning, we're looking at things from different ways, different angles. And hopefully by the time we get to the end of the show, it's making all of us sit back and say, never thought about it that way, but I think I might as well, because only when we think differently do we believe differently, and only when we believe differently do we have faith differently, and when we act on that different kind of faith, we can change different things. So thank you so much for joining us, and I am always glad to have right here at my side, and I say my side because, partnership is one of the most important things in the world. And so I'm so grateful to have my partner over here, Dr. Donna Franklin.
And I am very delighted to be your partner. You just have no idea. Mondays are good for me because I get to see and talk to Dr. Ed. And Dr. Ed, I am truly intrigued about what you're going to bring to the table on Mondays, because it's always thought-provoking. It's always food for thought. It's a lot of things. And for that, I'm grateful. So a sister going to be here.
Oh, can you believe there was ever a time when Donna Franklin didn't care too much for me?
I didn't know you. I didn't. It's not that
when
I didn't.
When she first met me, she didn't care too much for me.
It's not that I did.
She looked at me with them side eyes. It's when you're in a meeting and but see, I love Donna from the very beginning. And I said inside of my head, what's that Temptation song? They said, I'm going to make you love me.
And he did. And he
I
did
said, she's going to love me. I said,
and he did just that.
She's going to love me because I love her. See, you got to love first if you want to be loved. There are a lot of people that are looking for people, well, if they don't love me, I don't love them. Well, you got to make a decision. You got to love first. Now, it might be unrequited love. You may not get love back from that particular person, but love is something that you throw out in the air. Even though that person may not send you that love back that you gave to them, that love can come back in other means and other ways. You just have to learn how to look for love and how to see it coming from different ways. But I was just so lifted to be able to have that same love to come back to me from Donna. Donna, thank you for, and I haven't said that much about it, but I want to say thank you for being in the position that you are in and doing what you're doing, helping me to do what I do and picking up those places that I can't particularly pick up, see, hear, or deal with. So thank you so much for what you do.
It is my honor, Dr. Ed. You just don't know.
This is the Donna Franklin Appreciation Day.
Let me clarify something.
Uh-huh.
I didn't know who Dr. Ed was. I had no earthly clue. I had no idea that this man was that learned. Okay, I didn't know. And if you know me, I love intelligent people. They just, whew, they do something to me. So I'm sitting here, and all I can think about, because we're thinking about this new program that we're going to bring on KTSU, and all I knew is that he was a pastor. That's all I knew. I had no idea he was a musician. I had no idea he was a trophy-winning ballroom dancer. I had no idea Dr. Ed had all of those things in him. All I could see was, are we going to have, in the middle of the day, are we going to have a pastor show? And no offense with the pastors. Yeah, but because there's some pastors would be like, well, what's wrong with that? It's nothing wrong with that, but we tend to keep that on Sundays. So we're going in the middle of the week. So then when I found out what the show is really about, and remember, Dr. Ed, this was only supposed to be a short show.
13 weeks. It was supposed to go for 13 weeks.
That's it. We wasn't going to do that whole thing. And how many years are we in now?
I was counting it the other day.
How many years are we in this thing now?
And I said, you know what? I probably need to go back to when we started and probably figure out our anniversary because it has been that long.
Yes, it has.
It has been that long.
Yes, it has. And the people love it. Everywhere I go, I just love Dr. Ed.
I'm surprised at that.
No, they love your show, Dr. Ed.
But you also know what, and I guess maybe this is the day we just, give me my flowers.
Yeah.
But we've had people that would come and go. We've had some good hosts, good co-hosts, back and forth.
Right.
Jalen comes every now and then, and just people. But it seems to always boil right back down to me and you.
Yes.
And you, of course, you've got your own show. You've got Impact Houston. You've got your own show and everything. And you do your own thing. And but I said, well, I don't care what she does over there. I don't care who she go out with on Friday and Saturday. I don't care who she going out with, as long as she here on Monday.
Okay. Do what you do. Just get
and
back
speaking
to work
of not people not caring who somebody go out with, let me bring this up. I was watching a show. I don't know if it was a sports show or anything, but I was watching something, and I saw the coach Bill Belichick, and that was the former coach of the Patriots.
Patriots, right? Yes, sir.
All right. That was former coach of the Patriots, and I think he's now he got college. He's in college now. I forgot what team he's with. What college he's with. But they had him on television, and there was a young girl that was there with him, and I didn't know anything. They were saying, I said, I didn't pay any attention to it. Young girl, somebody that he knows, daughter or somebody, I don't know. And it's his girlfriend. How old is he?
She looks like she's dating her grandfather. I'm just saying.
How old is he?
Well, if he's not my age, he's around there
60s?
or older. Yes.
I know she's like around 25.
I said his granddaughter.
I shouldn't say. I'm on the radio, and I like to be specific about things. I think it's 25. And let's say just 25 and 65, because I don't know if you're getting Social Security or not yet.
He probably is.
But 25, 35, 45, 55, 65. That's 40 years. That would be a 40-year difference. Now, I just happened to notice it because it was just a noticeable thing. Somebody was telling me about it. And then I would hear people say, oh, that's a shame. And then some people would say, oh, more power to him. If he can handle that, fine. Then we would talk about earlier. What is he going to talk about? What's the conversation
What are the
going
conversations?
to be?
They have absolutely nothing in common.
But not necessarily.
A 25-year-old and a 60-something-year-old? Their music is totally different.
Not necessarily.
Their movies are totally different.
Well, they're making a lot of remakes.
Come on now.
Okay.
Okay.
See, and I think this is something that our audience, they have thought about. Maybe they don't talk about. I'm interested because I've sat down and I talked to younger women, and I ask them the question. See, that's the nature. If you're hosting radio, you talk to everybody. You talk to white, black,
Right.
Latino. It doesn't matter what their age is. You talk to them about religion. I talk a lot to them about religion, about relationship, about love, who you gonna date, who you don't. And sometimes they'll say, "Are you a pastor?" I said, "No, that's not who I am. That's what I do." And there's a difference,
Totally.
with that.
Yes.
Who I am is a human being. I'm a man. I have different things I think about. So I was married, but I'm not married now. They call it a widower. I just don't like the word.
Yeah.
But I asked the question, who do you love? Who would you want to love you? What kind of person would you want to love? And I hear it all. I hear young ladies, well, this particular man or that particular man. I may hear a man say that particular man or that particular man. I mean, I get it from all genders, all points of view. And I sit there. I'm not appalled by anything. I'm not appalled by age difference, sex difference, gender difference. I listen to everything. Because if you never listen, you never learn. And you can't be somebody that's good dealing with radio or television and don't listen to how people feel. There are people who love other people because they just happen to love them. And it's none of your business whether you like it or not. You don't have to love that way. But that age thing, I've been asking myself the question, and maybe I got my callers out there who are saying, I'm in a relationship with somebody. There's a difference 20 years. Or the difference is 40 years. I'm curious about when that difference gets.
I'm trying to see what this is that I'm doing. What's the age difference?
What do you mean? Oh, what you're doing?
Yeah, I don't.
Oh,
know.
you in a relationship like that?
Well, I'm not calling it a relationship. I'm calling it we gonna see what this gonna do.
Wait.
What?
This is hashtag we gonna see what this gonna do? wait.
And there's a 14-year difference.
That's almost 20.
No, it's not.
Okay. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. You only got about 6 more years.
Yeah.
That's almost 20.
Well, yeah, but the conversations are still.
Still what?
The conversations.
Still similar?
Yes.
Because you're still similar to the same things.
Music is on point. Like the same type of music.
But when you were born, let me see.
I know. He was rolling around in the stratosphere.
Yeah, he was in somebody's twinkle in somebody's eye.
Yeah.
When you was born, the Temptations was getting ready to sing, and the Supremes was just coming on board.
Doctor. That sounds old, but it really isn't.
But when he came along, the Temptations music had become commercials.
It was old then.
Okay, and people say, well, what do they have to talk about? I think the same thing anybody has to talk about.
Yeah.
I've talked to people who are younger, and I think we have nothing in common. And they remind me we all have something in common. You got some younger people who are old souls. And those of you who might be out there, maybe you're an old soul. Maybe you don't want to be with anybody at your age.
Right.
Because maybe that's boring to you. Right. Maybe you're intellectual and you want to talk about abstract things and things in the stratosphere, and maybe you watch TV shows that are a little bit different, and you need to talk to somebody that's older. If you want to cuddle up and lay up and watch a television series, you may not want to watch some of those younger shows and the housewife shows or all the other kind of shows that everybody else watch. You might want to watch science fiction. You may want to watch the History Channel. And maybe the other one, what you watching the History Channel for? You're watching the History Channel. That ain't all history anyway. We need to, turn to something else. They watch the Fishing Channel. Well, ain't nothing wrong with the Fishing Channel if you like to fish, but you also ought to be able to like history.
True that.
So 713-313-4354. I'm asking even some younger people. I don't want to go under 21. I'm not going in there, but you got to be past 21. Actually, I want you to be at least past 25. And ask the question like was Bill Belichick when he was he's dealing with somebody of that age bracket. Why would you be attracted? Why would you be attracted to somebody that's 20 years older than you, 25, 35, 45, who might be 45 or 55 or 65? There are women who are 35, 45 attracted to men who are in their 70s. And my question is, why would you be attracted to someone that's older and may not seem to have that much life left based on statistics of living?
And that's some real talk, Dr. Ed.
That's some very real talk.
Yeah.
Relationship. Well, you can't have kids. You won't be able to have children. You won't have a future if you do get pregnant. I mean, that child may. You might be gone before that child is 4 or 5 years old. That's real talk. But there are some people who say, "Well, I don't want any kids." Mm-hmm. Or I'm too old at this particular time. I'm 44, 45 years old, and hey, if I want somebody 70 because I'm not looking to raise any kids. I just want to go somewhere, maybe go see the world or whatever if we've got the ability to see it. There are people who also make contracts. Look, let me tell you something, Donna. Mm-hmm. There are contracts that are made every single day. Yes. We live in America. We live in Hollywood. We're a celebrity country. We like to look at the celebrities and live. I shouldn't say we, but there are a lot of people in America who look at the celebrities, and we look at the movies, and we want to hear the violins, and hear the music start coming up on the radio while we're sitting in the front seat of the car, and we reach out our hands and our fingers touch one another, and we look across and look in each other's eyes, and then we fall in love. When I fall in love, it will be forever. We want to fall in love like that. And then one day, we're standing together, and then we walk down the aisle and we get married and we take our vows. And the reality of the whole thing is, because of what I do, they wind up in my office talking about, I'm going to get the heck out of this relationship 3 weeks later. So I'm asking the question, but then you got other people who may be young or whatever say, well, we want to get married. Are you in love? I don't know what that is. I'm too young to know what love is, but I know I like him. I know he takes care of me. I know he talks to me. I know he doesn't want to hurt me. I know he doesn't want to hit me. And I feel good in this particular presence of this particular person. So, well, you don't have anything. What do you mean I don't have anything? I'm with somebody that's got some money. Oh, so you're with them only because you're a gold digger. No, I'm not a gold digger. But I do realize this person has said, look, I don't have much time left. You give me 4 or 5 of your years. And I tell you what, I'll sign some papers and I'll make sure it will be worth your while. Somebody says, that sounds like prostitution.
It's buying affection.
Buying affection?
Mm. That's what it sounds like to me, though.
How can you really buy affection?
If he said, I only have, and we're not paraphrasing this. This is hypothetically. We're just having a
This is hypothetical.
Right?
Hypothetical. Yeah.
So if he were to say, I like you, I want to spend some time with you, and I don't have that long on this earth. Mm-hmm. But if you give me your time, give me 4 years of your life, I will make it worth your while. That's
what?
Buying affection.
Is it buying affection, or is it reality and respecting someone else's time? And if that person now, what if that person says, well, how much? And you give a number and they say, sounds good to me. And you set out your parameters. And you in agreement and she's in agreement. What? And you say, well, that's buying affection. That might be what it might be today, but does that mean that's what it's going to be tomorrow or next year?
No.
Or 2 years from now? Mm-hmm. When you're kind and you're nice and you give love to somebody and they agree to stick with you, There are people that fall in love after. There's a whole lot of folk that got married wasn't in love.
That's true.
A whole lot of people in our older generation got in love. They call them shotgun weddings because they got pregnant.
Yeah.
And they felt they had to fall in love, and then they get divorced 25, 30 years later. Well, we never loved each other in the first place.
Yeah.
Maybe because they never grew.
You know you have a caller.
713-313-4354. And also, we're talking about this, and, later on, we may pick up a little bit about the MSNBC firings. Ari Melbourne, Joy Reid.
The readout.
The readout. You're looking at Lester Holt stepped down from NBC. You're looking at Katy Fang? I think it's the Katy Fang show. These different shows they have all begun to start stepping, either fired or stepping down. This administration, this resident of the president's residence is people are stepping down. Things are happening. People are getting fired. This is scary. What's going on for a lot of people? 713-313-4354. You can talk about that, or you can talk about the different age gap in relationship. Let's see what our caller wants to talk about. Hello, caller. You're talking to Ed Montgomery. What's your first name and what's on your mind? Hello? Did they hang up?
I hope not.
I know I had a good caller too.
Hello.
There you go.
Hello, caller. You're live on the air with Ed Montgomery. What's your first name and what's on your mind?
This is Andre.
Andre, what's up?
What's love got to do with it? By Tina Turner.
I didn't know you were going to be the first one to throw that at. What's love got to do with it? Tell me. Okay, explain that. What do you mean by that?
So, my love story began looking for a job where I found my wife, and my wife showed interest in me. 4 years later, after living together, she said, "Why don't we get married?" I'm like, "Well, shoot, whatever." She said, "You wasn't going to ever ask me to get married?" I said, "I like what we got going on." It was different to me. You know, she had something going on, and I liked it. But I didn't know we was going to end up 37 years later still together.
Mm.
What about the age difference? Is there an age difference or what?
She's 2 months older than me.
Oh, y'all might have been born in the same hospital.
Right.
Or something.
Well, to that question or that statement,
Mm-hmm.
I talk to young people all the time, and the energy for one is one thing I think that draws people together. Two, the maturity. You know, yes, you can be intelligent, you can know some stuff, be like myself, very outgoing and adventurous. And my wife was to a degree, but she was more directional with hers.
Okay.
You know, going like to the museum, and I was more into sports.
Okay. All right.
So we just kind of crossed paths. And
so did you learn from her? Did you learn? Did she affected you, and you affected her a little bit? Okay.
Oh yes, I'm very meticulous.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Andre.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
All
Keep
right.
on going. Don't stop. Keep on going. All right. Thank you so much.
All your lines are lit up.
All my lines lit up. Let me go to my next caller. Hello. You're on the shift with Ed Montgomery. What's your first name and what's on your mind?
I'm Monroe. I wanted to respond to what you guys are talking about today.
Okay.
And I don't know if you've ever experienced what they call the syndrome, the lust syndrome. But this is what the lust is. You see somebody, you say, "Oh my God, that looks good." And she's looking at you. And she says, "Oh, he looks good." It's the lust syndrome. It's not about how old you is. It's not about how much money you got. It's not about how you look. It's a lust syndrome. And when you experience that lust syndrome, you know what the only thing matters? Sex. That's it. If the sex is good, you're going to be there.
Okay.
If it's not what you want, bump it on down. That's the lust syndrome, and that's the way I live. You know, I'm 75 years old, and I have never, ever had a senior citizen. I'm not interested in a senior citizen.
Come on now.
Well,
I love it.
but it's the truth, though. That's the truth.
Thank you,
I
sir.
don't know why.
Thank you so much for
Okay,
your
we
call.
got to go.
Woo! He said he's never been with a senior citizen. Come on.
But yet he may not consider himself a senior
Okay,
citizen.
hello. You have another call?
Hello, caller. You're live on the shift with Ed Montgomery. What's your first name and what's on your mind?
My name is Betty.
First name. Who's this? Hello,
Betty.
Betty. Okay, go ahead. You're on.
Okay, I want to let you guys know I have a voice disorder, so it may be a little difficult to understand me, but I am loving your show this morning. And Dr. Ed, I fell in love with Donna for a myriad of reasons. First one was I like jazz.
Okay.
Second one
You like jazz.
was
What was the second one? You like jazz. What was the second reason?
I met her in person at an event at Georgia Brown
Okay.
Center,
hmm
and I loved her in person.
Okay.
Personality, just like I did her.
So you love the jazz and you loved her in person. I'm helping you along a little bit, just so you know, because I know you. I'm just helping you along.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And,
And your third one. What was your third reason?
and my third reason is how she feels about relationships.
Okay.
And obviously
Okay.
not the same as you.
Okay. I got it. Betty, let me say this. Let me say, Betty, let me say this. Let me say this, Betty. And to meet someone just like you met Donna, and to see that genuineness in her jazz, the way she liked music, how she saw you, and how she related to you. Let me say this. I am so grateful to our audience that we relate to each other the way we relate to each other. And I want to thank you for calling. And that's why I want to make sure you had that much time to be able to say how you felt. So I really appreciate it. Thank you, Betty. Hello, caller. You're live on air with the shift, Ed Montgomery. What's your first name and what's on your mind?
Henry, Dr. Ed.
Henry. You okay? What is the gap? What is the gap in your marriage? What's the age gap?
What, a couple of, let me see, 2 years.
That's not enough.
2 years.
Henry, I got to go. I got some folk on here that's got some 30 and 40 year splits in here. I need to talk to them.
Let me say what I call you for.
Okay.
Let me give you what I talk to. Dr. Ed, you won the week. You won the week, Doc. That's Joy Reed.
I know it's Joy
comment.
Reid. Ain't that a shame? I'm gonna miss Joy.
Dr. Ed, you are the only news station that has said something about Joy Reid, the Cross Connection, and then homeboy. I ain't really care too much about him. But anyway, welcome to Project 2025. How you like it? How you like me now? He said, look, Dr. Ed, he said, let me do this because me and my wife talk about this all the time. You remember the story of the turtle swimming across the pond and the scorpion wanted to ride across? And he said, man, look, man, if you know, I know what you are, but I know how to swim to the other side. So he said, okay, now I'm not going to do it because I know what's going to happen to both of us if I do it. But he gave the scorpion a ride, boom. If
Didn't
somebody tell you who they are, Dr. Ed, you might want to try to believe them. Why? This man is getting all the people that he wants, who he thinks it's everywhere.
But you know what, Henry? I was going through. I'm glad you called me because I thought about you the other day when I was thinking about plans for the show. And let me say, I was going to throw this out. I want you to think about this. I'm going to go to the next caller, but I want you to think about this because I know you think about things. What if we are in a script? What if we are in a part 2 of The Apprentice? What if this is a television show, one of the biggest television shows ever, And we are sitting back watching who is going to get fired again. You're fired. You're fired. Could this be a big old TV script, a big old television show starring the president at the resident? I'm wondering.
Yes, sir.
Because it's
Absolutely.
causing us
You
to
know,
watch
Dr.
what he does every single day. And I'm just kind of tired of being driven by that.
On every news station.
Yeah.
This is a sequel of The Apprentice, and that's how he is looking at it. That's why he is not bothered or concerned following along.
All right. Well, listen, I want you to think about it. I want you to think about it. I got to go on this because I got some people calling up on my question. They want to get in. Okay. Hello, caller. You're live with Ed Montgomery. What's on your mind? What's your first name? What's on your mind?
Carla.
You got to turn your radio
Hi,
down,
Carla.
Carla, please.
Oh, okay. Wait a second.
Okay, Carla. I'll wait for you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. Much better. It's a delay, so that's why it sounds a little funny. How are you, Carla? What's on your mind?
Well, first of all, let me put God first before I say anything.
What is what?
I want to put God first before I say anything.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I am completely and totally upset about what's happening at MSNBC.
Okay.
I didn't know that they were getting fired.
Yes.
This is censorship. It first started with the school system and the library system of what kids are allowed to read and what they're not allowed to read. Now it's spreading to cable, and cable is not it's supposed to be independent of the regular stations, major stations.
Well, Carla, it is. See, it's not that the White House or those who are in Washington can fire anyone who's on these stations or who takes somebody's show off. It is the network itself that is firing these people. In other words, the network feels that this show does not help. The ratings are down. Don't believe that ratings thing, but they're saying the ratings are down, therefore this is not a good show. And so the network heads are firing these people and taking these shows off. But the question is, why?
It's Trump. It's censorship. The thing about it is, I cannot stand 700 Club, okay? But I caught a little bit of what they were saying about Planned Parenthood. And I know that what they were saying were lies and innuendo. Because if it were actually true, it would have been on the major broadcast, and it would have been in print. So the thing about it is, Trump is doing. Oh, it's horrible.
And see, if
We're going backward, and no, who's doing anything? What can we do as a people? It's not just a black thing.
Yeah.
It's a people thing.
I totally
Can
agree
the
with you on that.
ACLU do anything about this?
No. I totally agree with you. It is a people thing. But this is where, of course, our voting comes in. That's where our voting comes in. That's where voting.
I voted.
I know it.
I voted.
But
And the thing that was really upsetting was the people who voted for Trump. They voted because of economics.
Yes.
And the thing about it is, he didn't care. anything about us economically as a nation. Now,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, he doesn't.
Okay.
The man is illiterate and has always been illiterate. He paid his way into Wharton Economics School of Business. What I'm saying is, you can tell that he is an illiterate person.
Okay, Carly, we got to go. You got 15 seconds. Make that final point of yours. Make your final point on your case. I got to get to my next call.
I understand. Please forgive me. I'm venting.
No. I know. No, it's all right. I just wanted you to get that last 15 minutes. But what's that final point you want to say?
Well, I just wanted to finally find out. They got rid of Joy Reid and who else?
Joy Reid, Jonathan Capehart, Amen Moadim, Stephanie Rule, I believe.
NBC. What's his name?
Lester Holt. And the young lady that also came on after Chris Hayes, and Rachel Maddow took over for the next 100 days, and so she's out still as a correspondent. But all of these are going on. These are people that So
God bless y'all. Okay.
Okay.
And public
Thank you.
radio.
well, thank you so much. I appreciate
You
it.
know what? Thank you for that. And public radio, thank you so much for that. We need it bad. Okay. Here's your next caller.
Hello, next caller. You live on air with Ed Montgomery. What's your first name and what's on your mind?
Hey, this is Amir, man. How you doing?
Amir, how are you?
Great. I've been not like Don. I've been rocking with you since the early 2000s. Man, I remember you said something one time. You said you gave a story about the peanut butter and jelly sandwich and the glass of milk. Boy,
That's
I
a
was
long
out
time.
with you from that day forward, man. I remember it. But the thing is, Trump and Elon Musk, man, they're doing what needs to be done. It needs to be shook up. This that's existing now, that they're cuts and these firing, those people have been there through all the administrations, and nobody found any room to improve. Well, they are. And sometimes that bull backs up before he charges forward. The thing is this. We all have dealt with the government, from housing to SNAP to Social Security, and all these different places that we've dealt with, but both in person and on the phone. We've complained about everything about it. Everything about government we dislike. The way they treat us, the way they talk to us.
Well, not
They
everything.
don't
Not quite everything now.
Well,
You know,
well, I
there's
mean,
some
when it
things
comes
we
down
don't
to it,
complain about. We don't
yeah.
complain about when them checks come through, but go ahead.
No, I'm talking about that's something that has nothing to do with the human being. I'm talking about the human being interaction, from phone calls to in person dealing with the government. Anybody in governmental offices has been horrible.
Well, not
qualify
everybody.
some, don't qualify others.
Well, that's business.
I don't
That's
know
the way
nobody
we.
claps to go to a government office.
I understand. No, I understand what you're saying, but that's not everybody. And all systems are going to have problems in them. All systems.
Right.
You just got to figure out the best way of doing it. And is this the best way of doing it? What's happening right now?
You think that the findings of the monies that are, so say, being allocated to people that aren't alive, you think that's the first thing that you should say? Well, what if it's that?
We don't know that. We don't know that for sure. We could also talk about things that the person who's dealing with the money and making the cuts should not be involved in having government contracts with the government, because that's a conflict of interest. So we have to be very careful. There are ways to do certain things. I don't know why the government has not figured out ways. Maybe we need to cut waste. Of course we need to cut waste. But then Social Security is considered one of the most efficient systems out there. Social Security.
Well, I'm not complaining. I don't think that at this point anybody's checks have been. Listen, you know what I see? I see the revamping of these governmental entities to simply get the Hispanic out of the government's pocket, And
No, 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 no. Wait. That's no. That's an opinion, but we're also dealing with elements of truth here. When you talk about get the Hispanic, now we're going. No, you can't deal with people. If that's the case, then a whole lot of people need to be out of the government's pocket, and a whole lot of people need to be out of the government's pocket. But let's not label that. So I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there. But I appreciate your call, though. But I can't.
We have to take a break.
Yeah, I do. I have to go take a break. Okay, you can stay on if you want after my break. All right, let's go.
The Shift with Ed Montgomery will be right back on The Choice 90.9 KTSU, your community station.
You're listening to The Shift. I am Ed Montgomery. You can hit me up on Instagram. Hit me up on Instagram. Follow me. It's Ed Montgomery 1, the numeral 1. Also, you can hit me up. I've dropped new videos. Just dropped a new video on this past Sunday. Watch my videos. You say, what are those, sermons or anything? No, I don't do those. I don't preach sermons. Stopped preaching sermons years ago. But there's sessions, and I'm sure you will get a kick out of many of those sessions. So check that out on YouTube and Facebook and all your major platforms. You can find me. Just type my name in, and you can go there. Or you can always go to edmontgomery.net, edmontgomery.net, and click on and find out where everything else is. Welcome to The Shift. I am your host, and let me go back to my Donna, yes. Did we get any texts?
No.
No, okay. I always like to check on texts. Let me go back to my phone. Now listen, you got 69 seconds. Okay. I may go a little bit over that, but you get 69 seconds to be able to get your point across. So formulate your thoughts and get them out, because we got some calls and we're getting ready to go right through them. Hello, caller. You're live on The Shift with Ed Montgomery. What's your first name and what's on your mind?
I was married to my husband for
Daddy, we got one call. We got one call. We got to go to my next call. We can only do one call from a person on same day. So, okay. So I got to go to my next call. Hello, caller. You're live on the air with Ed Montgomery. What's your first name and what's on your mind?
You want to turn your radio down, please? Okay. Turn your radio down. Hello? Are you there?
Hi, yes. Hi.
You was just about to get hung up on. Okay, how you doing?
I wasn't going to hang up on you. Donna was going to hang up on you.
Don't you dare.
Donna was going to hang up on
ready?
you. We ready? Go ahead. What's on your mind?
Ready.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. 1, 2, 3. I think it started way before then, but it kind of gave us an indication of Trevor Noah first. What happened to him? Before that, the other gentleman who was giving us information, giving us the truth. You spoke about truth as opposed to opinion. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. What we people are using this we, and they're doing their opinions, and they're opinionated, and they're getting all this false information through all these social media platforms, and then they come with all these different kinds of scenarios and blaming people and labeling people and naming cultures and so forth. They don't really know the truth. They're not digging deeply enough and listening to the right type of news that is going to give them what is really going on. And point 3, this is why those people who have been doing that are being extracted from the communication system. Now, communication models, one of the basics is 1, 2, 3, send a message, receiver. But within that model, there's always noise. There's distortion, and the message does not get through. This is what is happening. This is why Trump is doing what he's doing. He's getting rid of everything that is true, factual, and he's leaning toward people who don't listen to facts, who don't research, and who are lemmings, followers. And we, as Nubians, we're following too, because we listen to that crap, and we're making judgmental ideas and going about what based on opinion, and we are missing the mark. We're missing the point. The last thing, I'm glad that we're trying to come together and have this no spending, trying to get our financial situation straight, trying to get a foundation. Some people are, some people aren't. But Dr. Ed,
yes.
Black people going to either sink or swim.
All right.
Thank you, Dr. Donna.
Thank you so
You're
much. Thank you so much.
welcome.
And do not be a stranger to McCall family. Thank you so
I
much.
love my Reggie Jackson baseball too. My grandson loved it. I gave it to him.
Thank you so much for your support. We
Thank
appreciate
so
you,
much.
darling. Thank you.
Alrighty.
Hey,
Hello, Carly, live on the air with Ed Montgomery. What's your first name? What's on your mind?
Hi, Dr. Ed. It's Sweet Tea. Hello to you and
Hi,
Dr.
Sweet Tea.
Donna. Hi. I just want to make 2 quick points politically.
Yes, ma'am.
Just remind us that, again, look, we always had to fight. This is nothing new for us. We just got to stay in the fight. Our Democrats are not, what we say, wimping out or anything like that. We have to stay engaged. So that's one thing I want to remind us. We're still in a fight. It's okay. We always had to fight. Number 2, the love life. I dated a gentleman, 25, 30 year age difference. We rocked each other's world.
See what I'm talking about?
I heard the phrase she said, we rocked each other's world.
We rocked each other's world. Okay?
I love it. I love it.
And thank you so much, you two, for always, again, Monday is the highlight of my day. You
know
just
that's right.
literally being stimulated. I love you both.
Thank you so
Love you
much.
too,
Appreciate your
darling.
call.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Take care.
All righty.
Bye.
Hello,
she
Carly.
say?
She said, we rocked each other's
world. Okay, amen.
All right. Okay, I could. Yeah, I see that. Hello, Carly, live on the air with Ed Montgomery and The Shift. What's your first name and what's on your mind?
My first name is Barbara.
Hi,
and
Barbara.
I would like to say hi, Dr. Ed and Donna. I was just calling in because I haven't heard anybody talking today about the boycott that's coming up on February the 20th.
About the what?
The boycott.
Okay.
The boycott stores like Walmart and stuff because of the economic problems that we're having here in our country. It's not only our country, but also Canada is participating with this. So I wish some of your callers can call in and expound on this, give us more clarity about this day.
Okay. We haven't talked. No, we have not talked about boycotts. We have not talked about what's been happening out there. But I thank you for bringing it up. And it is something that I think we're going to be getting into in the next couple of weeks because we want to see what are some of the results that have been taking place. So we just don't talk about doing. We can talk about how has it helped, and have there been any changes? So, all right, Carly, live. Hello, Carly, you live. Am I getting?
Yes, you got it. Yes, you have another.
Okay, hello, Carly, live on the air with The Shift and Ed Montgomery. What's your first name and what's on your mind?
My name's Robert. How you doing? Real quick.
Yes, sir. What can I help you with? Yes.
Turn this down. Real quick. Elections coming up in the Fayetteville district, and council is coming up in May.
Mm-hmm.
Just already that time comes. That's when we're going to get clean up the mess. All right. Love you, Shay. Take care, Doc.
Okay, thank you. He said elections are coming up. I think that's he said they're coming up in May or whatever. In other words, whatever election is coming up this year, you need to get out there and vote for it. However local it is, if it's dog catcher, you need to get out there and vote for who you want for the dogs.
So let me tell you what I just saw on IG.
Yes.
It says NBC cancels the readout in major shakeup, and President cheers Joy Reid's exit, stating she is the least talented person.
Yes.
So there you have it.
But that's what he does.
Yeah.
The question is, why aren't Americans more outraged?
Because they're not. Dr. Ed,
at the sound of this.
This is what they voted for.
Look.
The majority of the Americans voted for this. The only ones who are upset about this are those who did not vote for that. But the majority of Americans, they have spoken.
And I think we're getting, and that's what we seem to be getting wrong.
Right.
We keep acting as if America should be appalled at it.
But it's not.
America is not appalled at this.
No, they're not.
But we say, well, but Americans, they were deceived because they were voting on economic reasons. Donna, listen. Between you and I and the fence post, and maybe I don't know who's listening to us right now, but whoever's listening, if the fence post is listening, I'm asking myself the question, did people really vote based on the belief that Republicans could take care of the government in a fiscal sense more so than Democrats? Did they vote believing that the price of eggs would go down? Or was this
They
an
voted
excuse?
believing the price of eggs
or was this
would go down.
Or was this an excuse they needed so they wouldn't have to tell you why they're really voting?
All of those make sense, Dr. Ed.
You think people voted because they believed that the Republicans would bring down the price of eggs? You think that's true?
Well, he said, and he was going to bring down the grocery list. That hasn't happened either. But
do you think people really gave their vote for somebody who's going to bring down the grocery price?
I'm going to tell you what I really believe.
There's a lot of people out there who
believe
don't worry about grocery prices,
right?
Who voted for him,
right? And I believe that people are naive to a lot of things, and a lot of people do not. Yes, a lot of people do not research or read. They look at what and listen to what people are saying, and it depends on who that person is.
Okay, but you see the economy coming. But you see the economy straightening out under the former administration. You see inflation coming down under the former administration. You see relationships between people beginning to even out under the previous administration. But now you're looking at an administration that is bringing about almost what we call a ball of confusion every single day. Whether they're right or wrong, the grocery prices are still going up. Inflation, do people really know that inflation is headed back up again?
I don't think they're really paying attention to it. I really don't.
So
only because
did they
there's
pay
so
attention?
much going on.
But did they pay attention to the previous administration talking about the inflation rate?
No.
But they believed that this administration would bring. Isn't that confusing? A confusing aspect of thought.
A lot of things are confusing. Think about it. Our whole world is in a state of confusion right now.
We normally don't get on global. We don't talk too much global because I want to on an hour show. So with an hour show, you can't talk about too much of anything. See? But global, Russia, China, Ukraine, all of these things affect NATO, England, France. All of these, and NATO affects the United States, who was involved in the previous administration with NATO, was strong in NATO. Now we're in an administration that's saying we don't necessarily care too much about being a part of NATO. And so now that affects Russia, it affects China. China says, well, if you're going to let Russia back into Ukraine, then we can go ahead and take other countries also. And so the global impact, money-wise and tax-wise and tariff-wise, affects the price of food here in America. And the price of food, when it goes up, Americans feel less than, that they got to work harder in order to make ends meet. When they have to work harder, then they got to deal with their families a lot. When they go home, the mental health of our people is finding damage in so many areas. And so now people are at home wondering what's going to happen with food and prices and everything else, not realizing that everything is connected. That's why we're here, Donna. That is why we're here, to our call-in family, to the great big family, to help you in a place right now where there's a lot of mental damage. But I am also here to tell you that we are not coming off this set, not on our part. We believe we can get through.